Want to eat healthier, become more self-reliant, and support local farmers, all without feeling overwhelmed? Over the next 6 months, we're taking a small practical steps to transform how we source and grow our food. And tonight, Ryan will be planning his food self-reliance calendar live so you can follow along and build your own along with mine.
It's the Farm to Table Direct Show with Ryan and Keith.
Hello, everyone. This is Keith with the Farm to Table Direct Show, and over here is my brother Ryan.
Hey, everybody. How's it going?
And also in the house tonight, we've got Mr. P, a.k.a. Dakota.
Hello.
And tonight, we're going to following up on what we were talking about last week. Man, I'm telling you what, guys, this this whole working up till the very last second.
Zero.
Right. I mean, we were on 0 hour or 0 second. Working on an audio issue that we were having,
Right.
but hey, we're in it. And listen, tonight's a really important video. And again, we are talking about 6 months to healthier, nutritious food diet. And again, I'm a little discombobbled here, but
I'm telling you what, we are all, if y'all only knew how harried and crazy this has been tonight, trying to get ready. Wow.
Yeah, and it still wasn't that great of a flow. But anyway,
hey, we're here.
I'm not even going to talk about it.
We made it. We made it.
Yeah.
We're good.
Right. And so Dakota's going to be on with us tonight, and we're going to be talking about what our plans are over the next 6 months to move a little bit further right on the what's the name of that scale we got over there, bro?
Self-Reliance scale.
This one right here.
What do you mean this one right here?
Yeah, the Self-Reliance scale.
Yeah, and for those of you who are joining us tonight, we just want you to know that this is an open chat event, and of course, you can become a star of the show with a single comment, or you can run it totally off the rails, which seems to be what we're doing at the moment.
I think we've done a good job already.
Right.
We
don't need any help with that.
We're on one rail right here leaning, okay?
It's a leaner.
Okay. So I just want to kind of go back over what the self-reliance scale is that we're talking about tonight. We went over this last week, but to bring people up to speed, it's two scales. We had one called the food prep scale, and the other one's the local scale. On the food prep scale, on the left of that, it's like completely fast food or ready made, and goes all the way over to completely home prepared. And then, of course, your local scale is talking about where you source your food from big box stores all the way over to you pretty much stand on your own 2 feet, and you don't get your food from anybody but your own garden and your own backyard or your pasture. So those are the two scales, and Ryan and I have identified where we are on those scales, and we just want
to the left.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
You need the assistance, Dakota, to point out where you're out on that scale?
Same. Same as that.
The same as what?
Same as Ryan over here. I'm all the way left over here.
You're just about all the way left on both scales?
Pretty much. Like
you don't even pick an onion or anything from the yard?
Not
right now. We don't have any out right now. So
okay, well, I don't mean right now, but anytime. So anyway, that's where we are. And bro, I'm going to ask you: Did you manage to find a calendar?
That's what I was working on right to the 0 hour. I thought I had one, couldn't find it, so I printed one off, and so I've got a calendar ready to go. So down to the wire, but we got it done. I had my mic muted early, and while you were reading in, so that the printer didn't interrupt everybody.
I don't think it matters anyway.
Yeah.
Ryan, like I said, is going to be filling in his calendar live, and I'll be also talking about mine, and maybe Dakota will pop in and talk about what he plans to do the next 6 months to move a little further right on those scales. And, I just want to, start off with where you guys are at on the scale. Both of you guys are on the left. I want to bring that scale back up one more time, Dakota, if you don't mind. And I
Gotcha.
want to tell you where I'm starting on that scale. All right, on the prep scale, I am just about half and half because my wife is a great cook, and she often makes food right here in our home. Now we are not completely, like I said, uh, independent, and we do go out to eat, and we do source our food for convenience purposes. However, on the local scale, we're hurting pretty big. All right. So on that one, we're just about 100% big boxes where we source most of our food. Although that's about to change, as you'll figure out as we go along. So I'm going to put myself with these three guys on the far left side of the scale as it pertains to the local. Uh, all right. So bring that down. And since we've identified, where we are, we want to identify where we want to be in 6 months. And I personally would like to be about half and half on the sourcing local scale, personally. Ryan?
Yeah, I'd have to say, I mean, that's a goal. I would say that's reasonable for all of us.
Right.
You know, but yeah, it's like we've talked about. It's a lofty goal to hit halfway at 6 months. Um, but I definitely want to be between, right in between that mix of, but at least closer to the halfway mark. And hey, Todd, Guy, and everybody with Todd and Robin with Farming Nature's Way. Glad to see you in with us.
And our niece Rachel is in the
Yeah,
house with
Rachel's
us.
in.
Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Cody's in.
Yeah.
And my lovely wife, it looks like she may be in also.
Completely off topic. Who the crud's that? Who is Anderson Cooper in this situation here? All right.
Well,
I do not claim this amount.
two of us are married. And
Yeah.
Yeah. So with that, with that being said, I just want to remind everybody once again, this is a live chat event, and feel free to leave your comments over there. Tell us about where you are on the self-reliant scale, as well as where you would like to be on the self-reliant scale.
Mhm.
Now, Ryan, you said you wanted to be where again?
Well, like I said, I would definitely say pretty close to halfway through, to halfway, on that as far as where I source things. Just being realistic with the lifestyle that I live, and that's the goal. I know last week, I think if we dug back through the recorded files, I would say that that's what his high talking about over there. But anyway, yeah, inside family stuff there. Yeah. Anyway, but no, I mean, I can't remember the exact. Bring that back up so I can remember those exact phrasing.
I got you.
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, probably smack in between. Mostly convenience as far as fast food. Half and half. Yeah, because I've talked about, and we'll talk more about clean cooking, where I'm buying meals prepped, already ready to go. It's good stuff, but yet it's convenient. And as far as sourcing, yeah, I definitely want to get in that half and half category, away from the mostly big box. So yeah, because I hate giving my money to them. But,
Right.
So Todd and Robin, are you saying y'all are 85% left or right on that scale? Most are y'all mostly local and mostly prepared, or over in that side?
I don't know. He's put E on there. Did it stand for
Yeah.
East?
I don't know, east, west.
Yeah. Is there an east-west on the scale there? But anyway, put that over there.
Pull
Be interested to know that. And so just want to briefly talk about why that this journey is important to us, and why it's also important for maybe some of our listeners out there as to why they may want to move right of the scale. He says he buy. Okay, let's see.
Yeah, put that up there.
Yeah, so he said we buy cheese and our spices self-contained.
Okay.
Okay,
Right.
somebody want to decipher that?
Uh,
We buy cheese and our spices self-contained. Where would that put you on this scale up here?
I'm thinking that they're pretty well self-sufficient. I think they have to buy those things, but I think everything
Oh,
else they're kind of
Yeah.
self-sustaining.
oh wow,
Yeah.
that's
So
impressive, man.
that very much,
Yeah.
especially and I'll say especially knowing what you do for a living, that that means Robin is pretty busy when you're not home.
Yeah,
But
mercy sakes.
but that's awesome if that's where you're at, man. That's great. But
So, um, I'm just going to ask both of you, why is this important for us to move right on that scale? Now, I know we covered a little bit of that last week, but, a little bit of a refresher here for those who wasn't here last week. I'll start.
okay.
As for me, I want to be a little more food secure, a little more food independent from centralized, food systems, because we've seen the supply chain break down, and that's one of my motivations. And I would also like to eat healthier. And according to what I've learned, from if you source it properly, you can get more nutrient dense foods is what I need. Plus, I need to push away from the table a little bit sooner, maybe. I don't know. But these are a couple of the things that makes it important for me. Ryan, you want to go next?
Yeah, I'll jump on that. I mean, first and foremost, I mean, for me, I know it's probably a mix, but it is health related. I need to, trim off the old table muscle, get that excess poundage back down to manageable level, not just for, appearance or clothing and that type of thing, but more for strain on my heart. Taking blood pressure medicine, having an aneurysm, that's important to be able to get that down and keep that maintained. But also, where I live is, out of town several miles. And so when weather strikes and ice and that type of stuff, I'm not getting to town.
Right.
So,
Mhm.
having things on hand, having food prepared, that we can withstand, even just nature's, emergencies and that type of thing here at the house. And I don't have to run to the box store and buy milk and bread, but because I was struck by that, during the 2020, 2021 time, um, that the people who had stuff they were raising, they had preserved, or they were growing and they had their own stuff. They didn't struggle. It didn't affect their day to day life the way it did the rest of us. Because I was living in town, and yeah, things were definitely different during that time. So and I don't want to be caught, with the proverbial pants down, the next time something like that comes around.
Right. So part of it was preparedness and
Yeah.
then healthy living. I want to circle back to who, yours truly, for just a second,
Of
because
course. Of course.
Course, right?
because I want to tell you that I have a personal health problem that I'm doing this for.
Yeah.
Um, my last blood work came back and they told me I had. They asked me, as a matter of fact, do you drink? And I said no. And they said, "Well, your liver numbers come back, pretty bad." Of course, my mom, she passed away of
Mhm.
non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, and so I'm thinking, well, I'm probably following right along in the line there, and so changing up, my diet, I believe that that some of this can be mitigated, maybe even reversed. I'm not sure about that, but that's one of my big whys that I want to change what I eat. And with that, um, Dakota, aka
Yeah.
Mr. P.
No, I'm pretty much in the same boat as y'all. Like, obviously, like my family over here, we got a myriad of health problems, so it's just like being more healthier eating and all that for sure. But also, like Ryan said, also just being able to have it here when you're stuck in situations where you are not able to get out to a store and actually get stuff. To be able to have your stuff here and actually grow it yourself, know it's good. Then there's more, not as much as chemically induced stuff as certain box brands are. So yeah, y'all pretty much covered everything I said. So, but it's true. It's the honest truth right there. So
Yeah, I'll bring this back, up here. Thank you for that, Dakota. And those are very admirable reasons. Let's see. Those hardtack items can be the hardest to source locally outside the box. And what he's talking about here is he added to the list. He said he forgot about yeast and flour. So there are certain things that it's hard to find. It's hard to find in your backyard, but it's probably not impossible for us to get those sources.
Right.
But I do understand, what they're talking about there. And, what I will also point out is that we all have different circumstances. And we, my circumstance is this. I can't have animals because animals need full-time care. I spend part of my time overseas. We've got a home over there. My wife's Filipina, and we go over there. So you can't just, leave for, 4 months, like in our case, um, and animals be taken care of, or even expect to burden somebody with something like that.
Right.
And so, this is part of the challenge that I have, but Ryan has some specific challenges too.
Um, yeah, it's number one being time. Um, you know, my wife and I both work full time jobs. We both have, my schedule goes back and forth, as many of y'all know that follow on the morning show. But so, I mean, a lot of it is time and being able to access that stuff. Um, that's probably the biggest single thing is our lifestyle is so busy and we are running. But the number one challenge right now, I don't have a kitchen. Um,
That's right.
that's numero uno. I have no, my kitchen. I say I have no kitchen. I don't have a functional kitchen. I do have base cabinets going in. I do have a stove. I have a non-hooked up sink, and I got a microwave. So technically, I guess I have a kitchen, but I don't have a functioning kitchen. And so that's the first hurdle that I have to overcome. Um, and so once that's overcome, then I feel like I can really commit to, uh, growing some fruits or vegetables and that type of thing. But honestly, with everything else we have going, to try to add on an additional focus, especially one that takes me out of the house, uh, probably not a good idea. So that's probably one of the first steps on my short term plan is to get the kitchen functional so that we have a place. My wife said it to me earlier. Ain't no point in growing all this stuff if we don't have a kitchen to keep it in. So
Right.
we'll go back.
So that
So
puts you under a pretty hard deadline then to get
it
that
does.
kitchen done,
Yeah,
right? Well,
and that's a good
we're
thing.
about to right. We're about to pull up a chart here to show you guys what our growing season looks like, and it'll kind of help Ryan to start riding in some hard numbers tonight on where he's going to start either seeding or planting outdoors. Um, and just real quick, I want to swerve over into Farming Nature's Way again and say thank you for that advice. I do kind of have something similar to that. It's called Fire Cider from Dwayne Hall with Red Feather Farms. And I buy that for him, and I take a tablespoon of that every day. It has vinegar in it also, and that apple cider vinegar, and a few more other ingredients other than that. But it does, I believe it has turmeric. I know it has ginger. Tastes like it has lemon, and I know it has a little bit of honey in it also.
Right.
And I'm also trying to stay away from certain types of foods that, well, that the liver just doesn't process very well.
All right.
So anyway, Dakota,
Yes, sir.
um, we're about to pull this chart up there
There you go.
and let everybody look at it. Now, this is Clyde's garden planner, and some of you out there are probably really familiar with it. If not, then we do have a description below. I mean, not a description, but we have it in the description below. The link is there. We don't get paid for it, but if you're interested in picking up one of these, I strongly recommend looking at that. And I think they cost about $8 right now on their website. So anyway, we're going to start right there, and you'll notice that this red line that's right in the middle here, we've got it marked at April the 15th because in our area here in western Arkansas and eastern Oklahoma, that is about where we expect our last frost day for the spring to be.
Right.
Now, with that, one of the things that both of us are planning to do, and that is we want to plant things that we actually use and will actually eat.
Yep.
And I'm going to let Ryan talk about what he will actually eat, and then we're going to go through his chart.
Okay. Well, of course, Keith and I had talked earlier. I want to at some point I want to do potatoes and even onions, but the potatoes, I'm kind of iffy. The onions, I really like onions, but the deadline to get those in the ground is a whole lot closer than I feel like I can accomplish this year. It's just a matter of a few days, weeks. I think the 1st of March, if I remember correctly. But however, matter of fact, it is. It's right there. Right there.
Well,
The first.
now,
Yeah. But anyway, go ahead.
yeah, I was just going to say that that's somewhere between the 1st and the 8th.
Right.
That you would have to have them in the ground. And because this FP that's up there stands for first planting or first
Right.
outdoor planting. So you could plant them there, but if you'll follow that line across, you'll see that they really don't harvest until around May the 10th.
Right.
Would that give you enough time?
Well, I mean, that's the kitchen's not the aspect. It's the time to get everything prepped as far as the garden beds and that type of thing. No, I'm going to push that one off because I can source those locally, easy enough
Okay.
to not worry about it. Tomatoes is definitely high on the list, and then cucumbers and squash, and let's see what was the other. Oh yeah, okra. Those are definitely the ones. Those are my top four. Something else may get added in later, but those are definitely the top four vegetables that I'm
right.
after.
All right, let's go by those one by one real quick and
Okay.
kind of see if we can set you up a little something that you can write down on your calendar. If you'll hold that up again to show people what you're about to fill out.
Let me maximize them so people can actually see this for where we are
Okay.
at here. So
yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
So he's got a blank calendar there, and he's about to start filling that in. And this is going to be his 6-month plan to become more food independent, more food secure, to move right on the right side of that scale a little further. And so if you could bring back that chart back up there.
There you are.
Hey, Robbie, welcome in. Glad to see you this evening. And hey, you got to take care of the Bass Club.
Yeah, man. Let's just start down at the bottom there with okra. I think you said you wanted to do that.
Yeah.
And if you follow that line over okra, then you can see there's an SI there. Now that is seeding indoors. You can begin to seed okra indoors, and that can start around April the 26th, I believe, if I'm reading that right. April 19th.
19th, yeah.
All right. Write that on your calendar.
April 19th, seed okra. Okay.
Yeah, seed okra indoors.
Indoors.
Yeah. Indoor.
And
Unless
then
you're like, unless you're like my neighbor who just puts everything straight in the ground and
some people do that,
yeah,
they
yeah,
have luck with it. So
yeah.
then following that on over, your first planting outdoor will be on May the 17th.
Mm.
You can put an okra, FP right there.
Okra, FP. All right, got it.
Okay. And then let's move on. Now, those don't harvest, um, well, I don't know if you want to fill in
I'm
harvest
not going to
dates
worry
or
about that.
not.
Those will
I
be
wouldn't
pretty
worry about
obvious.
that too much. Right. But let's go on up to tomatoes because that was your next one.
Right.
Now, on tomatoes there, if you run that line over, you can see the SI there is on March the 22nd,
We'll be in
between
Okie
22nd
Homestead.
and 29. We'll be in Okie. Okay, so somewhere right in there you can seed indoor.
Mark. All right. Okay. Oops. I know what I do. Shame on them. Okay. March. You said 22nd.
Yeah, March 22nd,
Well, somewhere in there. Yeah.
in
Let's
that
see.
area. It's actually 22nd to 29th, I think.
Okay. Yeah. I'll
Yeah,
probably. Yeah. I'll put over there. Okay. Seed indoor tomato.
right.
Okay.
And then following that over to FP, which is
Uh-huh.
uh, first planting outdoors.
Yep.
Looks like that's going to be around May the 10th, between the 10th and the 17th there.
Okay. So tomato first plant. Okay.
Yeah.
That's
And
the
so I believe you said you wanted also squash.
squash.
Is that
Squash.
is that
Yep.
squash? Okay.
Uh,
So the SI or the seating indoor looks like it starts on about April the
eh,
12th to the 19th, somewhere in that area.
yep.
Okay. Seed indoor squash. Okay. 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 Got it.
And if you follow it over to FP, that's not a very long span of time, but you can plant that outdoors on between the 3rd and the 10th of May, I believe.
Okay. So May. Uh, well, we'll probably yeah we'll put that. I'll just back it up that Friday. So let's see. That's first plant squash. All right. Okay. Got it.
All right, and I believe you had one more on the list, and that would be cucumber.
Cucumbers. Yeah.
Okay, so and it looks like those two could
I
actually
think
go
those
same
they,
time,
they do. Those are so squash and cucumber. Now, folks,
right?
those who've never grown cucumbers and squash, you got to keep them separated, as the old song says, because they will cross pollinate. And I will tell you,
Right.
hey, Dakota, glad to see you in, everybody.
And maybe Shayla.
Maybe Shayla. Yep. I
Yeah,
will tell
hello,
you
hello.
that zucchini or squash and cucumber crossbreed does not taste good. I've done that, and
Been there, done
it's
that.
been there, done that. Bad, bad.
Better. All right. Okay. Now we've kind of set up what you want to grow at home. Now,
Yeah.
I want to go. We're going to talk about that just a little bit more in a minute.
Right.
No, actually, let's go ahead, and I want to bring this up in the background while we continue to talk about it. But I want to talk about how what kind of planting system that you're going to use.
Okay. Um, yeah, well, I'll go ahead and start, even though I know you're working your magic. Hey,
No,
Scotty,
that's okay. Go ahead.
glad to see you in there, buddy. Um,
Hello, Scotty.
um, well, first and foremost is a combination of a couple of raised beds. I've got some I've got some wooden boxes that are perfect for raised bed. Um,
Hmm.
Now, what I'm going to try is to turn those raised bed boxes into like a wicking tub. I'm going to try to set it
Okay.
up to water the same way, plastic line, that type of thing to keep, which I was going to do anyway when I put the soil in. But I
Right.
want to try to do that, seal up those cracks in the boxes, all that, um, because I do like the wicking system for watering, because that's one of my big hurdles is uh, watering, because my schedule and on the go and everything, one of our biggest failures in the last couple of years has we've been either overwatering and then they get dry, and that back and forth and that trauma to the plants. So I want to try to overcome that, um, and go with um, that type of system. But I also want to go with wicking tubs themselves, because again, same reason, the watering. And as we can see here in the background, these are wicking tubs that have been set up, and they work quite well. They can be put on, like he's done, a trailer, or they can be on, some type of stands, because I got a bad back, yeah, and the knees ain't getting better. So bending over and being down on the ground isn't on my list of favorite things to do. So I want to be able to have those up at height that I can work them. And I'm really intrigued with what Andy did there, where he had it on the trailer and had it mobile. And the reason Andy did it, and we talked about it, is you can move it around into shade if you need to, or protective areas in case of a storm, that type of thing. But even if I'm not, just being able to have it up at working height. And so taking the raised bed boxes, and then a couple of wicking tubs, so that I can separate out the tomatoes, separate out the squash and the cucumber, and the okra. Give them plenty of room, enough room to grow quite a few plants of each. So I'll make sure I have plenty of harvest to not only consume, but then hopefully to preserve. So yeah, that's kind of the game plan. Pretty much right there on a nutshell, real brief.
Yeah. So, for those of you who don't know, which probably most of you guys know what wicking tubs are, but this is a wicking tubs. And just to shout out to our buddy, Andy Barnes, I had done a video with him to where he was pointing out this. And as a matter of fact, that video is on our website. If you want to go out and take a look at that, I highly recommend it, because he breaks down actually how much it costs to do a wicking tub, but it also, he breaks down, the different levels of your, for your soil and all of that stuff in this
Right.
particular video. So just a shout out to Andy Barnes, and thank him for showing us that. Of course, that we're back here now with the garden planner.
Right.
And I think we have pretty much covered the things that you're going to be doing and how you intend to do that. And you've got some dates now on your calendar.
Right. And that'll allow me to begin to backward plan from that first planting day to when I need to have those things ready to accept the starts that have been grown indoors. I do have my starter tray, so I've got my starter tray and I've got my seeds. So I am that's already here in the house. So just got to get the right soil. And if anybody in chat has a good recommendation on what a good kind of soil for that starting is, I'll take some advice. Otherwise, I'm going to go.
Hello. Hang on just a minute, guys. Hang on. Okay. All right. Ryan, I'm on the phone with your wife, and she said she didn't see you putting the finish date for that kitchen.
That would be an absolute correct. No, it is nice low blow there, my friend.
Cut off at the knees.
Hey, I got a question. When is your kitchen going to get finished? So,
well, on that one, yeah, that's a good question too, right?
Yeah, see,
mine is closer to finish than yours is.
Very true. Yours is functioning. No, it is. What is today? What is today? February the.
Today would be February 4th.
4th. Honestly, I've got to look. I've got one. Let me get this other calendar up where I can see my actual dates. Let's see. See this weekend, that weekend. Realistically, I would love to say that the lowers anyway will be in probably in by the end of the month. That I've kind of got to, because I'll be honest with you, March starts kicking off a whole lot of things. Okay, man, Dakota Elevers or something there. Yeah, so I've got this weekend, that weekend. Man, I'm going to be interrupted on that one. So I've got 2 more weekends to have some things put in place. Um, Honestly, though, man, that's going to be a tough call order right there. But I've got to have it in by what was that first planting? Uh, well, anyway, yeah, I've got to have it done. Definitely got to have it done before we start our big rounds
It's,
of taking off and going places. So, you know, soon.
Yeah, I think your first planting is going to be your tomatoes, and
Yeah. So either way, no,
um,
like I said, it
no,
really, I'm very, very close to being in those stages. So I mean, the cabinets are in place. I just got to finish anchor them together, get them painted, get the countertops on, and then plumb in the sink and dishwasher, and that'll be good. And then we can move on up to the uppers, and that can, but we'll have a functioning kitchen with sink and stove and all that.
right.
So
So that's a major challenge, and you can, now put something that's putting a little pressure on you to get it done because
right.
you got a planting season coming up.
I
Now,
do.
Farming Nature's Way said, do you have an Amish community nearby? I assume is what they're saying.
Yeah,
And I
not
don't
that close.
know,
Mm-mm. Um,
but do you have like we do? We have a farm that has a farm stand, and they work on the truss system, and they put stuff out on a daily basis when it's available, and we can just go there, pick it up, and from our local farmer here, and that's called Not Whole Farms, and that's how we do it. And I assume that's kind of the reason that they might be asking about
well,
having an Amish community.
right. Well, the starters and stuff, but and then also just sourcing. I wish we
Mhm.
did. We've got some Mennonites and some in the geographical area, but not full on communities like what you have up there in Pennsylvania near you, for sure. So yeah, but and Dakota had quite a yeah. There we go. All this talk about okra. I'm assuming you mean okra, but anyway, you're Oklahoma
That's
hillbilly.
Oklahoma. We say
yeah,
okra.
Uh,
ogre.
anyway, got me wondering. Makes good seed for animal feed. Did a little research, and it does, in fact. Stuff grows like a weed. Puts on very well in his experience. Yeah, it does grow, and man, yeah, it'll grow and grow quickly. And if you're planning on consuming it yourself, you've got to stay on the pruning, and you've got to stay on keeping it picked because otherwise the okra get too big. They become
Too
tough.
hard.
The plant will
Yeah.
get 6 foot plus tall. Oh, okay. They sell a great garden mix for your pots. Okay. All right.
Okay. He
May
he
have
was
to,
Okay.
asking earlier about that mix, right? To
yeah.
go in there. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. I may have to do some searching around, see what I can find nearby. But because like I said, something that's good for it that doesn't contain all the junk. Uh, excuse me, is kind of what I'm after. I mean, try to avoid the whole reason we start growing it ourselves is to get away from all the chemicals and all the pesticides and all the different additives that we don't want in there to begin with. So, but
Okay.
anyway,
So we're going to come back to you in just a minute, bro,
okay,
about the rest of your plan.
yep,
But real quick, I'm going to share that I'm leaving in April,
hmm,
okay, to go overseas, and I'll be over there until late August. Uh, Hopefully, it's late August, and what we've done, you may call this cheating because I didn't really have to do a whole lot except for ask somebody to pick it up for us. But uh, I'll just play this video in the background here. This is my sister-in-law over in the Philippines, just showing us things that she's already pre-purchased for us. Now she's going to keep it for us at her home until we get over there in April. But these are just a few of the plants that we have pre-ordered, things that we use on a daily basis. My wife, like I said, she cooks a lot. Some of the things that some of the things that we use green onions. We use a lot of lemongrass. We use garlic. We use ginger, tomatoes, okra, sweet potatoes, and that sort of thing. Now, once we get over there, the home that I have over there, has a couple of long planters along a couple of walls outside, and we will be transplanting some of that into those walls. And then after, if we have things that, root systems may cause a problem, then we'll be putting those also into wicking tubs like we showed earlier. So, yeah. So, want to just shout out to my sister-in-law, Lisa, and say thank you very much for helping us out there and kind of getting those starts. Now, the season inside of the Philippines is pretty much year round. Anytime you buy, you can plant it. Because they are very much a tropical zone over there. I live about 7 degrees north of the equator when I'm over there. And so, the thing that, we enjoy, is having that tropical environment full time. Now, I'm only going to be over there 4 months and then be coming back because we got to get back for some of our expos. And so, for us, the biggest challenge is probably going to be finding our meat source, finding people that we trust, finding people that follow the values that we follow. So, yeah, so that's kind of on my calendar already. We've already kind of gotten that part started, but our journey's not over either. We got to find some other things, and then we got to get into preservation of some of the foods that we got. But anyway, I'm going to go back to you, bro.
Yep.
And not everything we're planning to grow. Some of this stuff we're just going to resource outside. And I just want to hear from you, some of the things that you plan to resource outside, and when do you intend to reach out to some of those sources?
Well, of course, began to kind of set some of those plans in motion already. I've mentioned and even showed last week, but we have a company a local company called Stu's Clean Cooking, or Clean Cooking. They say at the Oklahoma, Arkansas way, no G. But anyway,
Yeah.
And it's prep food. It's they smoke their meats. It's vegetables. It's whatever's in it. Um, they go ahead and do all that stuff, and then it's frozen. And then all you got to do is reheat it. And it's portion controlled. It's nutritious. They've got different meals depending on what you want, flavoring, that type of thing. And so for us, me on the go, especially working at work and that type of thing, I can take lunch with me. And it's portion controlled and it's healthy. So that's the number one there as far as mixing convenience with sourcing local food. And Stu, the guy who owns the place, he's a big fitness guy and all that stuff, and so he's really into his foods being what they need. And they even have keto meals for those who want to try keto. But anyway, so there's that. But then there's another place nearby. It's called Farmers Market Direct, and what that is basically a farm hub or CSA type. I don't really know how to explain it other than they contract with a lot of people within the region, Arkansas, Oklahoma, Missouri, providers. And they have it's healthy food, it's whole food, it's raised. They have a criteria that their owner has set forth, and I do believe he's a doctor. Um, and so they set those things and they seek out to find those things. And so basically, it's bringing a whole lot of farms and a whole lot of producers into one central location, which again goes to the convenience factor. Uh, so I'll be reaching out to them to source a lot of things that they get in there. They're reasonably close, and to me, and they're not that far out of my travel path. So that'll be that. And then, of course, when I get back to needing eggs and that sort of thing, that's real easy to source locally here where I live. There's plenty of people
Mm-hmm.
who raise farm fresh eggs off backyard blocks and that type of thing. So, and then, of course, the farmers markets will be kicking up, uh, April and later. So some things maybe get sourced there while we're waiting on uh, the stuff we've planted to go to harvest, and that type of thing. So that's kind of the loose plan in a nutshell to source things outside. Of course, there's stuff we'll have to go to the big box store just because simply that's where to get it. But honestly, I've been amazed at how much you can source locally. from other people, even if you're not going to have time to deal with it. And the meat thing is kind of another thing. I'm having to source that out, figure that one out. Because I do have a couple of processors that in the nearby area, as well as a butcher shop and that type of thing. So trying to
Right.
figure that out.
I would say in your industry, you probably know a guy.
Well, in my industry, I might know a guy.
Right.
Yep.
If you don't, I can put you in touch with a good friend of ours
Right,
that's
right,
in the homesteading community. So
right.
you definitely know a guy
Yeah,
about where to source some of your meat needs.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we know a guy, and that's like I said, but figuring out something that's convenient for me to be able to do it. That's the other thing, you know. So yeah, that's kind of the basic plan as far as outsourcing beyond what we can do here. I just simply there's certain things that you know my lifestyle I've come to realize through some studying and reading and listening to other people smarter than me. Uh, the being committed to an animal, to being committed to raising livestock at this juncture is not where we're at. I've got a lot of infrastructure work to do on my property, including a lot of fencing, and as well as be able to um um being able to house them, but then also the time commitment to be able to be there to take
Hmm.
care of those. And that's just being honest with myself and knowing the lifestyle that I live, that it wouldn't be fair to the animals, honestly. Um, and so, I don't want to treat that thing. You said Azure Standard, not the store. Um, um, I don't know which store you're talking about. Talking about the box stores. Yeah, it's
Right. Azure Standard has some pretty good,
they do. They have good stuff,
Right.
yeah,
and you
some
can
good
get a lot of
choices
drops.
there.
Yeah,
Right.
and
And
I,
there's Azure Standard drops in different places, right?
right,
So yeah, I need to know more about that also for when I'm here.
right,
Um, I will switch over to where we're going to source meat, and
right.
and one of the things I'll tell you about the Philippines is, of course, fish. Not a problem. We have a wet market over there, and there's a lot of stuff in those wet markets over there, and hopefully they haven't been bitten by a bat. But anyway, um, but yeah,
Where's the
we're
sample
going
one in it?
to uh, um, we're going to buy a freezer when we get over there,
Oh, okay.
and we're going to source probably our pork, because they have amazing pork in the Philippines, and probably not so much on beef though. I have never tasted beef that I like over there, and
Mm,
I'm not I'm not hammering them, and it's probably because I just haven't been able to source it properly there. But that
Right.
would be a really high, nice goal for me to source beef over there. But our pork, easy to source; fish, very easy to source; chicken, very easy to source. And so we just have to do that, and then put that in our freezer, and try
Right.
to stock up in advance on what we're going to eat there. But we don't need to buy more than what we can consume in 4 months. Anyway, with that being said, I I guess we're going to kind of put the spotlight a little on Dakota.
yeah,
Uh-oh.
yeah. Have you come
Yeah,
up with something while you've been over here listening to us
yeah,
hammer on for, you know?
putting Dakota in the hot
Uh,
seat.
y'all put me in the hot seat. Y'all really want this? Okay. Uh, I've sort of
I
just
may
been thinking
regret
like
it.
you might after a while. Yeah. No, I was just thinking of the land of our property over here. It's a little hard to do some things, but because like I'm in town right now, obviously, and I'm in more of a our yard's more fenced in. I'm sitting there thinking like we could do more like growing our own vegetables. As far as raising animals, it's no way we could do it here.
Right.
So, but I'm definitely on the scale of like I would definitely want to grow some tomatoes because I just love tomatoes. I mean, who doesn't? Uh,
Mhm.
but I want to pull that scale back up because there were some things I was looking at that I really actually do want to actually grow myself. So like
Mhm.
for example, I definitely do want to grow some carrots. I don't know what it is about just ranching carrots. I could sit here and eat that all day as a snack. It'd be fine.
The
Don't
well,
know why, just could do it.
yeah.
Uh, there's that peppers. We would go through peppers here like crazy with some of the stuff we cook here. So squash definitely because well, me and Dad for sure will definitely eat that, especially after we fry it. Probably not the best thing to do, but
So say you're
Probably
kind of
not.
taking away some of the
I
healthy
I
aspect.
know some of the health aspect, but
But hey, you got food. That's the
nah,
first thing.
it's food. That's the major thing. But uh,
Baby
I,
steps, remember, bro. Baby
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 steps.
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 True story.
Remember,
Hey, listen, I can't say nothing. I'll probably be frying mine too.
yeah.
So
But no, it's just
Okay,
what.
let
What's
me
up?
ask you this:
What's up?
how do you intend to grow it? You was talking about you were talking about that the ground where you're at is not exactly easy. Would you think
Uh,
about doing maybe a wicking tip?
that's what I was looking more towards because part of it is we got to redo like how the yard is because the way the yard is when it rains and it comes down the road and it goes right down into one little part of our yard to where it's a little hard to grow anything. So uh it's just basically a swamp down there and dude, meat calling me out on the meat wraps, huh?
Right.
That is fair. I'll give you that one. I'll give you that one. There's a probably we do have actually a little cage out here. We could do that. Uh, but part of our yard is basically a swamp at times if it gets
right.
like when it gets raining. And so I remember I think it was last year Dad was trying to grow stuff and it was doing like the hanging method, but he was using pop bottles because as my uncle Sid can attest, my dad loves a Diet Pepsi.
Yeah, pretty much.
So
but
you got plenty of those bottles around. Is that what you're
we
saying?
we do. But I won't uh eventually do what the wicker thing, but I want to try those bottles again, but actually sort of keep an eye on them, help him with that. And
Right.
so, but as far as like meat wise, I'm definitely gonna look at that Stu's Clean Cooking though, like Ryan has mentioned, because between four people here in this house I have right here, meals are pretty expensive these days.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So
Uh, yeah. Even chickens
Yeah.
once
So
you get it
Dakota
figured
says,
out.
"Ha ha."
yeah,
Right, rabbits
Hey, I do
easier.
have Dakota. I do have some hutches, some cages from
oh,
when that were left on the property from previous owners that would hook you right up with some rabbit.
Right. And
Uh,
remember what we're what we're talking about here is,
but I like
moving a
that.
little
right,
further, baby stepwise
yeah,
on the
you can hide them
self-reliance
as out.
scale. You might have to. Yeah,
Yeah,
things are getting tough out there.
Yeah,
and he's talking about your dressing, your ranch. He said at least switch to blue cheese. You know.
Hey, right on.
uh,
You hit that right. I
Uh,
love blue cheese. Um,
getting
so
called out everywhere today.
yeah, it's okay. I'm with you. Uh, oh, yeah. Tracy, welcome in first and foremost. That big guy right there with the, I will say with the glasses, but with the gray beard. Oh wait, no, I've got that too.
Yeah,
Doggone.
oh, wait a minute.
Uh,
go
ah,
Coke
You're
bottle lenses. There you
confusing
go.
her.
Coke bottle.
yeah. No. Anyway, of course you know me. You've seen my face a lot. The guy
Roll
in the
call.
the guy in the black shirt is Keith, my brother, that you often see in the comment chat when we're on our Sunday night.
Right.
So a Sunday ice cream Sunday. But anyway, and then of course
Right.
the guy here in the yellow shirt, that's Mr. P or Dakota. He's our nephew and
Yep.
technical producer behind the scenes. So
Hello.
there's the
Right.
roll call. So
Yep. That's the roll call.
yeah,
So once again, I want to just let everybody that's just got in here know what we're talking about, and we're talking about 6 months to a healthier, nutrient-dense diet, and moving a little further right on the self-reliance scale and the local scale, trying to source things more local and trying to be healthy. And we covered a little bit earlier about our reasons as to why we want to do that, but not only that, but we also talked about and started doing the writing it down on Ryan's calendar.
right.
I've already shown what I've got. And Dakota, we're going to have to be keeping a close eye on him
Yeah.
and try to help him along the way to encourage
Yeah.
him. And we need to encourage each other. And as a matter of fact, with that being said, I want to say that, you guys, our community out here, help hold us our feet to the fire. Also, part of this is as being held accountable for what we do, right? And I need that, you know.
Right.
So anyway, Dakota, like what we were just saying, maybe we can, get you into some wicking tubs.
Right. Yeah,
Start,
definitely.
turn off the
Yeah.
sports for at least 30 minutes a day and
Hey,
watch
football.
something that's healthy for you.
I got one
More
more
healthy
football
for
game.
you than that.
I got one more football game this season. You leave me be. Okay.
Yeah. No, it's
For some reason.
I was going to say, yeah, Dakota. I mean, of course, us knowing your yard situation and everything, yeah,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
wouldn't plant nothing in the ground there.
No.
But so
No.
definitely, wicking tubs,
Yeah.
surely in all that barn full of stuff, you could find something to make you a little like a trailer or something to move it around if you needed to. But
Right.
because your main issue there with the trees and the house, you've got a very narrow window there for sunlight.
Yeah.
And so,
We actually have these like little rolling carts that
Yeah.
and what I was thinking about is taking a couple of those once and just setting them out there because that's the old man has the one set up like now as it is, so
Right.
or at least ready for that. So
Right. Well, there you go.
that's sort of the plan. So
Right. And
Just-
what you can't grow, remember there are people who are growing it, and to try to source that too.
right,
Maybe even from some of the same places that Ryan's getting his.
Right.
You
Well, yeah,
already talked about.
Well, he travels right by Farmers Market Direct. He's over in
Yep.
that side of town when
Yep.
he goes to work. But and I would also say your town has a pretty good farmers market during season as well.
Oh yeah,
So-
we do.
Yeah, so
I gotta get down there on Saturdays and actually get stuff. So that's my
Right,
plan
right.
when it pops up.
yeah. But anyway, so all right.
On a complete side note, I know one thing I would love to grow is some cantaloupe. That is,
I tried that last year. I think it was. I tried cantaloupe. A lot of reasons my garden last year did not do well. A lot of reasons, but what about the front yard? We don't. That is his front yard.
Right.
That is his front yard. He don't have a backyard. The street
Backyard is on top of his house.
Yeah,
I'm about to say, to give clarification, my house is an underground home. Is what it is.
Yeah, it's an underground
Yeah.
home. Yeah.
So,
yeah.
He's
Yeah.
all front yard.
yeah.
Hey, welcome in, David.
David Lacey.
Hey,
Yeah,
they
David.
may have a market which growing mushrooms due to the trees and limited sunlight. Yep,
Hey,
that's-
I didn't think about that.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's
Hey.
right, man.
yeah, get into some
Think outside the
shrooms, man.
box.
There you go. Good thinking over there.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
I did not
yeah,
think about that at
it's
all.
that is the thing is making any effort
Right.
to get to that right side is for all of us is a huge factor. It takes that first step. That's why we talk about baby steps.
Yeah.
Because we get too caught up in the big picture of things. We knew what you meant.
Yeah, we got you.
And, but I like a good portobello on my salad. It's good. But anyway,
Right.
the best way to turn your health around is to juice without the fiber. So,
I tried the juicing for a while, but man, it's like, the jury's still out on juicing. I've been told, hey, don't do that. Don't send the juice without the pulp, because the pulp itself has an effect with the fiber of cutting the fructose sugars out that goes to my liver. And as I had said a little bit earlier, that I do have a liver problem that I'm trying to nurse, and and I'll put that in quotation, non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. And so let's see, best way to turn your health around is to juice without the fiber, is what I'm saying there. And you could be right. We tried that for a while, and I liked it because it went across the barrier quite easier, from our stomach into our system, rapidly. And I have seen videos out there on juicing, but I've also read a book that said that don't do it without the fiber. So, man, I don't even know who to believe anymore. Anyway,
yeah,
so
it's everywhere.
Oh,
But,
yeah. So Robbie's asking you, is tomorrow morning Memorex again?
I almost hate saying it, but yes, unfortunately, Robbie, it is. I have to be into work tomorrow at the exact same time as I did today, so that kind of puts me having to do it. Memorex. So as soon as we get off the air here, I will be getting
Laying
that,
down a show.
laying down a show behind a show, and
Yeah.
and getting that. But I will be back. The schedule says I'll be back Thursday. Back actually live instead of the Memorex. But
Yeah, we do
so
like it live, bro.
I'll much
Yeah.
prefer it. I much prefer it
Although,
live.
though, I didn't feel guilty about not showing up first thing this morning.
Well,
I
I
got
think
to
that I,
lay in a little bit.
I think, of course, and unfortunately, Robbie won't be there Thursday, so because he does
Oh,
his
that's
thing on
right. Yeah.
Thursday. So, but I think what he's really asking is, can he sleep in tomorrow? Is what I think I'm hearing there. But
Robbie, is that what you're saying?
but
so,
yeah,
so anyway, we are already at 1 hour. We need to get this wrapped up, bro. You know, if you guys
Yeah.
are just joining us, or if you joined us late, go back and watch it again. I think it was worth watching, and it's the beginning of our journey, and we're going to try to keep you guys informed,
Yeah.
about our journey along the way, especially this guy the other one over there, me, but this guy in the green over there. We're gonna try to pull him
Yeah.
kicking and screaming into this, but
I'll be kicking and screaming. It just
yeah.
might be a little. It might be a few extra weight, but
yeah, well, I just want you to live more healthy and be more
Yeah.
free.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I will say real quick, Tracy. Yes, we agree. Best way to health is our divine health and feed on the Word of God. Absolutely, I agree with that. And awesome. I don't know if this is Todd or if this is Robin that's typing tonight, but irregardless, awesome. Glad to hear that for you, that lost that amount of weight and the pain and going away and everything. That's anytime you can get back to good health, it's kudos and an applause for that. And so,
I just want to say good evening to Jack also, and
Jack,
maybe it's
Jack,
Dina over there.
where did you see them?
Oh, I'm sorry, that's not Jack. Sorry, Jack. It's Greg.
Yeah.
Greg and Donna, Duncan Family Farms. I don't
Greg,
know why.
Greg, feel
Dyslexic.
free to hold that against him.
yeah.
No,
No, please don't.
yeah, please watch the show later. Yeah.
Yeah.
And listen, we do need to wrap it up and get out of here. Besides, I got another show to record. We are getting into, there's some other shows that are going live tonight, I'm sure, as well. I will share the tip of the day that I shared this morning. And it kind of goes right in line with what we've been talking about tonight, which is start small, start where you are, and start with what you have. So that
Good
kind
advice.
good advice, and it sums up where we're at. Bro, do I want to go through the events upcoming tonight, or?
No, I think we'll skip the events, but I will tease this out and say that we've just added something to our schedule, our event schedule.
Yeah.
We will be speaking.
Like we have room.
Right. We've been invited. Can you remind me of that event name? That's with Chris Reeves.
New Beginnings Church. When it was, it was
New Beginnings Homestead
Homestead
Expo, so something like
Expo,
that.
Something like that. Yeah.
Right. It is. Yeah.
We'll
and
have
so
to
we've
get the
been
actual
invited.
name.
Right. So we'll be there. I do know that Dwayne Hall is there, and so will Restoration Farms be there speaking, and probably Bridget Nichols and a few others and so I just want to encourage people to plan for that. Like I say, that is in March. I forget.
It's April.
22nd?
That was April.
I'm
12th.
sorry, April the 12th.
Yeah.
Okay.
April 12th, which is a Saturday. It's a one-day event up in
Right.
Nowata, Oklahoma. So we will have.
Right.
I will have that on my schedule for tomorrow's show and going forward. And so And
So we will be doing a show, and we will also be speakers at
yay.
that particular one. Yay,
That's
speaking.
right.
Anyway, which is something we're not very good at. But anyway, we've been invited to do it.
So,
Imagine that.
Y'all ain't very good at talking. Really?
Yeah. So, yeah, with that being said, I want to invite everybody to come out tomorrow morning, 6 a.m. to watch the Farm to Table Direct Show morning edition, which in case there are people in here that hasn't heard of that, he has a pretty good routine that he goes in first 30 minutes of his day, 6 a.m. to 6:30. And well worth watching, and it's a good way to start the day. It is the morning show of record for the homestead community.
That's true. Farming Nature's Way. I know that Leonard Mountain Homestead usually has a live that starts at 8 o'clock. So they started about
That's right.
5 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Beyond that, I don't know. And we try to get out of here to be respectful of that, but sometimes the content does carry it. Y'all guys are hanging with us, so we'll feed the crowd that's in front of us. But anyway,
Pun intended.
Literally. But anyway, let's go ahead and wrap this up. That is a wrap for this show, and thanks for joining us in. 7 a.m. your time, Scotty. Yeah, you get to sleep a little bit over there with that one. But I will be. Unfortunately, we'll be working tomorrow, but it will be out. The show will be out on time at 6 a.m.
Do you have a title?
Cheap eggs.
Cheap eggs.
I don't know. It'll actually probably have a little more of that, but it's getting back into the egg shortage and and some other things that may be coming down the pike and why, and some ways we can combat that. Anyway, we're gonna get into the egg shortage and some of the other stuff going on, and what it is. I share stuff all the time from newsletters, and this is from Cultivate newsletter from Holly Hickman. It was her episode came out today. Her newsletter came out today, so we'll be going over that and kind of sharing some of that and my thoughts on it, and kind of part of the game plan of what we've talked about tonight, even with the eggs, sourcing eggs, and that type of thing. So that's it.
Right. I want to say that there's a couple of links down in the description that I included in tonight's show. If you're back there and you're watching it, you might come up with the Clyde's gardening planner. I do have a link to that in the description, and we make no money off of it. It's just their service. I believe they charge $8 for that. If you're interested in finding that planner that we used on tonight's show to plan our garden. Also, if you're looking for a CSA or a farmer's market near you, I have provided a link down there to where you can go out to the USDA website and actually look it up. It does work. I have tested it, and I made a video about it in an earlier time. So anyway, bro.
All right. Well, I will take us out of here then in that case. If you enjoyed tonight's show, don't forget to hit the like button, give us that thumbs up, share it with your friends, and of course, subscribe to our channels on Facebook, YouTube, X, and Rumble. It is the best way to stay connected, help grow the conversation about farming, food, and community. Say that one means anyway. But listen, folks, thanks for joining us tonight. Good food starts with great people. And remember, #stronger together, because it takes the entire community, and we are all connected, and we are all stronger together. And so as you go forward tonight, go check out some other things, but kind of put your thoughts into your gardens or something you can do to move a little bit closer to that self-sustainability scale. Thanks to everybody in chat for jumping in and for sharing with us and giving us your insights on things and your opinions and helping us laugh and hanging out with us for an hour of your life. We appreciate it very much. But we're going to get on out of here. We've got to get going. So after we say what we always say, Keith will be handing it over to our good friend Hank to roll us on out of here. But anyway, as we always say at the end of every episode of the Farm to Table Direct Show, prepare for the unexpected and
keep it local.
No humans were harmed in the production of this podcast.